you're a better man than this. And
what good kids, though, to come
yeah.
to you and confront you.
Yep.
Yes.
So that night, I went out on the lawn of our ranch outside of Austin, laid on my back, and I had that conversation with God again. I asked him what was going to become of me.
The same conversation, wow, that you had when you were 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I heard a voice and come from within me. He just said, I've given you all the tools. You just have to apply them.
Right. You have to take action.
Yep. And I got up from that just totally rejuvenated and started writing. And out of my writing came, when I started reflecting on my life and how it had transpired and all the events in it and how I had gotten through it, I realized I have always had the expectation that everything was working out just the way it was supposed to, and that I was the one who controlled it. I was the one who could make the choices, the decisions. Mm-hmm. And that's how expectation therapy was born. I wrote the book and put the protocol together, and have spoken at Harvard and spoken lots of different places and changed lots of lives, because I believe that the single seed that has been planted in every man, woman, and child at birth is the seed of expectation. And that is what makes us tick. That is what drives us. We look at them through 2 lenses, either faith or fear. When you look at them through faith, and faith isn't always a religious thing. Faith can be in yourself, it can be in your partner, it can be in a pastor, it comes in many, many forms, faith does. But fear comes in one single sword. Mm-hmm. And it cuts you to the bone, and you stop doing what you're supposed to be doing. You don't follow your path.
Right.
That is laid out for you.
When you call it expectation therapy, what involves in the expectation? Explain that to our audience, because I'm hearing you. I'm really thinking your story is helping somebody out there. But what does the word expectation mean to you in expectation therapy?
Your expectations are solely yours. No one can take your expectations away from you. And how you expect is the most important thing in your life.
But could somebody expect the worst?
Well, yeah, but that's where the fear comes in. You don't want to expect fearfully, right? Because fear is expecting the worst. I mean, it's anxiety. All fear. Think about this. All fear, anxiety, depression, where does it start? Unmet expectations. Unmet expectations are the single biggest cause for anxiety, for depression, for a host of things. It's huge how when you don't learn how to manage and master your expectations, every day, our expectations, just think about how many expectations you have a day. Everything that you do is based in an expectation, or you don't do it.
Right.
So you have to, if you want to be successful, you have to have the mindfulness to have positive expectations for yourself. You know what? The big thing in expectations and where it has had its biggest problems is we let other people's expectations rule us. And when you do that, you're not living to your own expectations. You're living to somebody else's expectations, and you can never satisfy someone else's expectations. You can only satisfy your expectations.
Yes, I love that, because you're right. If we try desperately in our life, which we all know and have all been there, to fulfill somebody else's expectations, we will always fall short, because we can't possibly do it. So we have to look. You're talking about taking personal responsibility for our own expectations, and our expectations need to be rooted in not in fear, like you said, but in faith. Is that
Yes.
kind of what you're saying? Okay.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You know, if you look at the research that's done with infants who are left with no care, you know, they're just kind of abandoned.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They become very frustrated when they're not fed, and you know they're not clothed. And I mean, it just because as an infant, we expect adults to take care of infants. I'd love to know what infants are thinking at those times, but I believe when those immediate needs as an infant are not met or they're not managed correctly, how and what is the effect on children? And I believe that is based in in the child's expectations, because I believe that there's a seed planted in us of expectation. That's what has driven man since creation, however you want to see it, evolution, creation. But when we became conscious thinkers, that seed of expectation in us flourished, or we wouldn't do what we've done, the magnificent things with computers and science that reaching out beyond our boundaries. Anytime we reach outside of ourselves, our expectations are just flourishing.
Right. That's wonderful. So you know what? We are almost out of time, and I'm so excited because we get to hear a little bit more next week with Art. And so for now, I would like you to tell our audience, Art, how they could get a hold of you. And then we're going to sign off of this week, and then we're going to be back next week. So tell them how they can get a hold of you.
My website is expectationtherapy.com. Have a website, Expectation Academy, which is where our new course is launching in early September. We're launching the course. All the social media sites, Instagram, My Expectation, Twitter, My Expectation, Facebook. We have Shower Epiphanies podcast, and we have Expectation Therapy page, Art Costello. Any of the social media platforms, you can get a hold of me.
Okay, that is wonderful. And I'm so glad you're going to be back here next week. So if you have any questions out there, please feel free to contact me by heading over to my website at lorrainehoving.com. And thank you, Art, for being here. And we're going to see you back next week. And I want the audience to remember it is never too late. It's never too late to lose weight. It's never too late to work on your expectations, to live a life of faith. It is never too late to go after your dreams. It is never too late to live a life of purpose. Thank you, Art, for being here. Your story was incredible, and we will see you back next week. Thank you, Art.
Thank you very much.